Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the last day of Back to Homeschool Week. I hope that you guys have enjoyed every video this week and that it's given you some motivation as you prepare to go back to your own homeschool. Today I am taking you through my homeschooling room. I'm going to show you what's in every cabinet, bin, shelf, everything about my homeschool room. Every year I end my Back to Homeschool Week with a tour of our homeschooling room. So that is what we are doing today. Before I take you through my homeschooling room for the year, I want to tell you about today's video sponsor and giveaway. Today's Back to Homeschool giveaway is from YWAM Publishing. We love YWAM Publishing in our homeschool, and my kids absolutely love these stories. YWAM Publishing is offering winner's choice of 5 different titles, either from the Christian Heroes Then and Now series, the Heroes of History series, or the Heroes for Young Readers series. You can choose any 5 that you would like to have in your home if you win. The Christian Heroes Then and Now series is their best-selling biography series, and it offers an exciting first-hand view of missionaries and leaders who have profoundly shaped history. The Heroes of History series tells the stories of fascinating men and women and important events that bring history to life as no other series does. And the Heroes for Young Readers series introduces your children to the lives of Christian heroes or the true stories of inspiring figures who changed the course of American history. And the best part of this is that there is vivid color illustrations and fun, informative rhyming text. We use all of these different books in our homeschool. The way that I personally use this is my older children each pick one hero of history or Christian hero of their choice each month, and they read it throughout the month and write me a written narration at the end of the month of that person. And then the Heroes for Young Readers we read within our morning basket or our poetry tea time because of the rhyme. Now, I personally love these books because I feel like they are very valuable stories for my kids to be making the acquaintance of. I want them to be familiar with these heroes of history and these missionaries. I want this to help shape their worldview, and I want them to be familiar with these heroes of the faith and heroes of history, and for those to be the stories that they leave my home with. So I highly recommend the YWAM Heroes series. If you guys are looking for some valuable content to have in your home, highly recommend YWAM Publishing. But the information, if you want to enter to win 5 books of your choice, is in the description box down below. Thank you so much, YWAM. Okay, so welcome to our homeschool space. Before you enter, you have to walk through the dog gate. That's because whenever we have a Labradane, and whenever we are doing any games on the floor, he thinks that that is where he is supposed to be as well. And then we have dog hair and our Play-Doh, and so anyway, when we're doing school, that door is up. All right, so we're gonna start right here. This is my little Josephine's space. She is 2, and this is a little sensory table. I have it in my Amazon store, but that's it's got those bins underneath of it. She's been painting with watercolor in the last couple of weeks, and so we just have that on top right now. I don't have the sensory bin fillers in there. And then I got new crayons recently, so she got all the old crayons because, you know, she's 2 and she doesn't respect the nice things yet, but I didn't want to throw away all of our old crayons. So she's got her little crayons there as well. And I do have a whole bunch of like the sensory bin fillers and things, but that is all in the storage video that I will be putting up for you guys probably next week. I'm not gonna make you wait long for that. All right, moving on to our shelving. So we've got, John had this built for me last year, these built-ins. Before it was just like a regular wall. We couldn't buy, originally we were gonna just do it ourselves, but we couldn't buy cabinets the right size because of where, this is the door that leads out to our pool, because of where the sliding door was. These were a custom size. So we had these built by a carpenter last year, and then we had an addition going on at our house at the same time. And so I was very quick to just fill the cabinets last year because we had other projects going on, and then we started our school year. So I actually liked the way I had them filled last year, but there were just a few things that I wanted to kind of sort through. So I did that this summer. And made it a little bit more custom to exactly what we need on the regular. And then I have more storage somewhere where I put the things that we kind of rotate through. So I'll show you these cabinets, the insides of the cabinets are gonna be a little bit different than last year if you saw last year's video. Same goes for the shelves. I took out all the books because our books go, I kind of sort through our books by history cycle and by, you know, read alouds by age. I didn't need to have every book we owned on these shelves because a lot of them either won't be used again for like 5 years until we're back to say American history or ancient history if we're currently in medieval times. But also there's like 3 years between Eli and Annie or 2 years between Bella and Jessie. So some of the books that I have assigned by grade, they won't be circling back to for a couple years as well. So I organized all the extra assigned reading books that we had and put those in cases that are labeled on some shelving that we have out by our laundry room. And so all we have up here are things that are used regularly, and same for in the cabinets. The things in the cabinets are things that are used regularly. So I will take you on a step-by-step of the shelves, then I'll show you in the cabinets. So up here we have, Bella calls these our pretty games, or she calls them our aesthetic games. These are like the Lawrence King Publishing nature games. And I have them up here because I recently took all of the board games that we have and put them into these plastic cases so that they all stacked on top of each other very well. And these ones, the boxes are pretty, so I didn't do that with these. So she's like, these are your aesthetic games. And then I also have some stamps up there for the kids to use, and sometimes I use them too. Right here, this is our 5 in a row shelf. So I have all of our 5 in a row manuals and then all of the 5 in a row books that we own. And then some of the books aren't 5 in a row titles, but they are the books that go along with titles. This right here, these are for each kid. So I've got oldest to youngest. I have one for Josie. I won't use it much for her this year. But these are for organizing their work by subject that I have already prepped for them. And then I have some for their, you know, things to file away whenever I have time to go through and pick stuff for their portfolio, or work that they're waiting on me to look at before they can file it away. So like a science quiz or a logic quiz. The tests that come along with those books, I'll sit with them and look at it immediately, but sometimes there's like a little quiz or do-it-yourself kind of a thing in their books, and I have them put it in here for me to look at. These are all of my Usborne Lift the Flap books. They're my favorite books ever. They're also too tall to fit on the regular size of these shelves, so they get a space under the light. They get a special place. This is a cool feature that carpenter put in for us, where we have the light in here, but we can also make it lighter or dimmer depending on what we need. So it's been raining here a lot, so it's on full blast right now because it's pretty dark out. Moving on, I have our family subjects book, basket. Close, but not right. Okay, family subjects basket. And then I have the subjects here that it's like a teen basket for my older kids when I sit down and work just with them. And then we also have a piece to a board game. So if there isn't at least a piece of some kind of game or activity on every ledge, counter, and windowsill in our house, then we're not having a good time. These are the younger Lift the Flap books from Usborne. These are ones that these are like nonfiction books, you know, we pull out regularly. Some of these as well. And then these are the Shine a Light books that you use with a flashlight. So these are used often when we have like little kids visiting our house, or when Josephine or Annie want a book. This is my current, now you guys will know I'm doing better this year. If you have seen any of my past tours, I had like 2 shelves for historical fiction and a shelf or 2 of assigned reading, and then a shelf of read aloud. I've condensed it all into 1 shelf this year. This is all the assigned reading we currently have going on. You guys saw these videos in my Rainbow Resource Haul from last spring, where I shared the assigned reading that we're starting our medieval unit with. So this is all the beginning assigned reading. There's more where this came from. This is their summer reading that they picked themselves this year. And I have a video on that as well if you want more info about what they're reading this summer, but some of this will carry over into the school year if they don't finish it. Otherwise, I'll pull this off the shelves and add in more assigned reading for them. So historical assigned reading and personal assigned reading. I have up here our entire shelf of YWAM books. That's a repeat up there. I have 2 of the Elizabeth Elliot books. So these are the heroes for young readers, and then the Christian heroes then and now, and the heroes of history are all up there. And we started with a much smaller collection. I think I did 10 titles the very first year we used these, and the kids have continued on with these stories for a few years now, and so we're constantly adding more titles to our collection. So my older kids read one of those books each per month, and they just pick which ones they want on their own. Over here we have, these are some of my reference books that I use kind of regularly. I have a ton of homeschooling books. Some of them are in my room on some shelves, but these are the ones that I look through often. And then stapler, tape, pencil sharpener, the CD player that we use for different audiobooks, but also for our composer study. And then I also have some hymns on CD. And then diffuser. These are the early readers that I have. So I have the phonics reading library from Paper Pie. I have the storybook reading library, and then these are the beginning reading. This is the beginning reading library. So these are all kind of by stage, and so Annie's using these currently. And then also Josie loves the little phonics books. These didn't really have a place to go, but it's kind of like a beginning math set. And then the Who Is books, I didn't really file these away because we use these at all different times of the year. And then the Magic Treehouse books, these have always been chapter books that my younger ones have kind of started with when they were doing beginning reading chapter books. Up here, I have Every Moment Holy, the Work of the People. I actually wasn't gonna get this one, and then I started seeing some samples of it, and I was like, I have to get it. I didn't wait for the pocket edition to come out. I have the other 2 as a pocket edition. The pocket edition comes out in September, and I really wanted this one, and I got it, and it is just beautiful. I read it and weep 100%. And so I left this in here because this one is The Work of the People. Let me just give it a moment here. It needs its own moment. This is The Work of the People, and I thought that meant like people who work, which I don't. And so I was like, that's not for me. And then I started looking through, and there are so many that I wanted to look at regularly. So I wanted it to have its own place on our shelf. For beginning the study of God, for learning a new language before teaching is a beautiful one. Let's see, for yard work, to begin the day's creative labors, for baking bread. Let's see what else, before writing a poem, before writing, before piano practice, for finding God's glory in creation, for planting a tree, writing a letter, contemplating poetry, sunrise, exercising, playing a board game, for bird watching, for a walk in my neighborhood, for a sponsored child. That one tugged at my heartstrings. Praise to God for salvation, before hosting, for taking a meal to others, wrapping Christmas gifts. Like, tell me this is not perfect for just like the stage of life that I'm in. So I was really excited about this, and I was kicking myself that I had it wrong. I wish I had had this one months ago when it first came out. We also have more of these containers. I actually didn't think I was going to use all 8 of them when I ordered it. At first I just thought I wanted the 5 of them, but I'm glad that I had these because I found a place for them. So I've got 5 in a row, all planned out in here. You guys probably just saw that video. This one is for some holiday things. So I've already got like some things for Thanksgiving and Christmas printed or set aside, or like I've got some sticker books and stuff. So I've just got these filed in here for different holidays. So that it didn't get lost like in our decoration bins. And then this one is for our morning time, or our family subjects plans organized by week. I got 3 new Cavallini puzzles this summer in North Carolina. The London puzzle, the library puzzle, and the butterflies puzzle. I didn't have those 3, so we'll tackle those 3 this school year at some point. I have a handful of those, and I think they're pretty to look at, but they're also really good puzzles. Up here, this is the one shelf I don't currently have organized, so don't look too hard, but it's supposed to be, and it is mostly, it's just not quite in order. My nature study resources, and then different poetry books for our poetry tea time, and then like fun books that I bring out during our poetry tea time, like ways to remember stuff, and there's like riddles, and I think there's also like optical illusions, and then like seek and find games, like where's Jane, where's Shakespeare. These I'll bring out during poetry tea time for fun, but then I also have like favorite poems old and new, and the nursery rhyme book, and things like that. So nature and poetry, I need to organize this shelf and split it so that it's half nature, half poetry. These baskets are, this is our basket of, it's heavy, let me see if I can, that probably didn't even show you guys anything, but that's our basket for our handcrafts. So it's all of the wood for our whittling, and then our whittling books and our whittling tools, and which includes like the knives and the special gloves that protect your hands for each kid and all that good stuff. And so I'm keeping this in a basket up high so that nobody gets too curious who shouldn't be. This basket has our letter subscriptions. We do a few different letter subscriptions, and so the letters that we got over the summer that they haven't read yet, letters that are open and haven't gone into their binders yet. So I wanted to have a place to toss our letters into, because I wait till every kid receives their letter that month and then we read it. And then I also put like note cards and stuff in there, because we often write thank you letters during school for things, and so it's all letters in there. Okay, this is another nonfiction shelf. I've got these 100 things to know about books. I've got the different, this is a historical, animals, science, some additional science books, the nature pocket books, and then some of the little kid nature books, and then the Julia Rothman collection, Storybook of Science, another nature resource. So this is more of like what the nature resources the kids look at, and then these are more of the resources that I use. Okay, sorry, had to go see what the baby was fussing about. Okay, so these are just some fun things that I've never put away, because I always have a kid who uses them. So we've got like the fun little Montessori puzzles here. These come out regularly. And then the tracing boards, which are clearly well loved. And then the arithmetic wheel. And then I have all the pieces that go to this behind this. So this is the hundreds board from Treasures from Jennifer. And then again, like I said, I've got all the pieces to this and this behind that, tucked behind, because it's a lot of little pieces. This is a 15-minute timer, which is helpful to have. These shelves, there's literally a banana right there. These shelves have, okay, so this is my nature study basket. It's got the kids' nature journals. It's got 4 pocket microscopes. It's got some nature colored or watercolor colored pencils, and some portable watercolors in there and things like that. This is our treasure box, which I have a whole video on this if you want to see that. We get into that on Fridays. This is, we actually use this globe. It's not just for decoration. So we've got a globe, and then we have our scrunch maps in here. I don't know where one of the outside cases went to this, so I just scrunched them both up, the world map and the US map, and put them in one of these jars. So our scrunch maps and our globe, just depending on what we need. We have the kids, what's it called? Junior Ranger badges in here from different national parks. And then we have feathers. I don't know. We have some feathers left over. And then here is, these are some nature study, nature treasure display boxes. I used to have them up there because I was afraid of the kids knocking them over, but they just couldn't see any of their stuff up there. So they're down here now. We also have a bucket of rocks, because also those are treasures. Down here are our Bibles, because we grab them regularly and we always lose them. So this is the shelf that they belong on, because this is actually not for homeschool. It's because it's right by the kids' bedrooms. And so it's just best for them to be out here, because they will bring them in their room and then lose them and then not have them for our evening Bible study, or they'll use them in our evening study and then not have them to bring back when we're using them in school. So this is their home base. And then if you were here years and years ago, I had this thing called the warm-up bin. Let me know if you guys remember that. We're bringing it back. Because of our school schedule this year, I just thought it would be beneficial for us to have the warm-up bin again. And that is where I rotate different single player games and little craft things and activities or whatever, workbooks. I rotate them weekly or a couple times a month and put them in this bin. So when the kids finish their work and they're waiting on me for something, especially the younger ones, they can come over and grab something from the warm-up bin. Or say I get a phone call in the middle of a lesson, but I don't want them to retreat to their room, but they need my help with the lesson. I can be like, go do something with the warm-up bin and kind of stay warm, so to speak. Like I made up the idea, like warming up your muscles, like warming up your brain, like keep your brain warm. Stay on task essentially without going to your room and turning on music on the Yodo and dancing around and completely losing track of focus. So warm-up bin, it also helps, I called it a warm-up or cool down bin. Like if things get too hot when they're doing school and they're stressed, or they, you know, go play some Play-Doh from the warm-up bin, whatever. So because I have all of our games and things organized in another space, I wanna bring those things in here and rotate them back out this year. So this is the warm-up bin. Moving on back here to the beginning. So we've got all of my teacher's manuals are in here, and some stuff that the kids haven't been given yet for this next school year. I've got my printer and scanner down there, some loose leaf paper, some printer paper. That's all in this. All right, and then in this cabinet, this used to be a lot of our learning games, but they were like busting out of here. We have, sorry, I need to take my shoes off. These, that I have more than would fit in the shelf, and so we were kind of losing some underneath of others. So what I have in here are more supplies that we regularly use. So we've got like file folders and sheet protectors and watercolor paper and tracing paper, and then I've got my binding machine back there and my laminator, clipboards when we use that, my paper cutter if you saw my school supply haul. We've got our whiteboards over here, and then some stamps and our expo markers. And then in here are just kind of random supplies. So I've got ink, but then I also have paper clips and, you know, all the little doodads that don't have a place on their own. So extra tape refills. This is just like the office supplies right there. These are more things that I have for our treasure box that just aren't currently in there, as well as over here I have some of those like National Geographic sticker books to go in there. This is watercolor stuff because we have some nicer watercolor stuff, and then we have some more like regular everyday watercolor stuff. So when we're doing a nice watercolor project, we have the nicer paintbrushes, and then we use these Kona ice cups for our water. But we've got the palettes in there, and then we have like the liquid watercolors down in there, and then the watercolor trays right here. These are like butcher trays, you know, they're like ceramic, I think. These are just flashcards that we need for various things in there. And then I don't even know, I dumped these in here because they didn't have a place, and the box was half full, and then extra pencils. But I would say that's kind of a random basket, but everyone needs like a junk drawer in their lives. Big believer in that. Okay, over here we have, these are the trays that we use for art projects. I'll say it again, if you might be tired of hearing it because I say it every time, but I will get asked no matter what. So these are like surgical trays that weren't used. I have a friend whose family owns an eye surgery center. They get the disposable packages and they never use these trays because they have their own metal trays, and so they were just throwing them out. So my girlfriend gave them to her homeschooling friends, and we use these all the time. They are absolutely perfect. So then we've got like more watercolor paper in here. These are the paintbrushes that are just like for everyday use for my kids when they want to do a project. We've got crayons, colored pencils, a lot of scissors, erasers and pencils in there. And then markers. These are like community supplies. When we're doing something, I'll pull this out and set it on the table. If we're doing a project for our history group, or if our home group is over and we want to set out coloring things for the little kids, we'll just pull these cases out. Down here we have, okay, these are acrylic paints. These are watercolor tubes. We've got do-a-dot markers and the do-a-dot papers down there. This is random craft supplies like googly eyes and doilies. A whole thing of glue, hot glue, and glue guns there. And then this up here, these are all of my different markers, and they're kind of like sometimes organized, sometimes falling apart, but like permanent markers and like the felt tip pens and things. This is finger painting paper. This is construction paper. This is Play-Doh and Play Foam. These come out a lot. That one's not even clicked together right now. And then the last cabinet over here is the one that I haven't gone through yet as far as organizing stuff out to the other storage area. But I've got some of the toys that are played with most often. So gears are in here. We've got these little cushiony things that Josie likes to jump on. All of our Osmo stuff and our learning palettes, those will probably stay in here because these are like more electronic. I won't want to put that anywhere else. These are nature study. These are, okay, these are different marble runs and like geometry things. But then this is some nature study tools and then single player games in here. So kind of a random assortment. All right, so that's what's going on this side of the schoolroom. Over here, we have, this is where we sit as a family. This is where I teach actively. So where should I start? Okay, so we have a popcorn machine because I wanted one. But also we eat a lot of popcorn now. We always need a snack. We have a lot of movie nights. We need snacks every time we pull out math, obviously. Everyone needs a math snack. But yeah, so that's in here. I just made the kids some popcorn. So that is fresh popcorn. If you could smell it right now. It has a candy dispenser on the other side that I have to put against the wall because Josephine helps herself. We took the knobs off of it. She still figured it out. So she loves herself an M&M. So it's against the wall. Let's see. This light is dimmable. Let me see if I can show that to you. Nice and dim. All right. So we have, I love Cavallini prints. I have to change these out. I'm getting tired of seeing these. I've had these up for a few months now. This wire up there that's hanging, that is something from IKEA a long, long time ago. It's been great. So I hang up, you know, any art that they're doing. I have this like punctuation chart. Whenever we're doing an artist with a picture study, I'll hang up the prints for us to look at. These are just watercolor pictures that we actually did toward the beginning of last school year. So I just cleared the room down recently, but I had these hung back up because they're some of my favorites. I just love these apple pictures that all the kids and I did. But these will come down actually before we start school. We'll replace them with new art and our new picture study and all that. We have, John made me this chalkboard. This is actually, on one side it's a whiteboard and on this side it's a chalkboard. It was like $5, this slab of board from Home Depot. Actually, at Home Depot, they didn't know that it was a chalkboard on one side. They told us they didn't have a chalkboard, but I had seen online that there was a chalkboard on the other side of the whiteboard piece. So we went to the whiteboard and it was in fact a chalkboard on the other side. He just built this frame around it. It's just like a piece of pressed wood. I have the kids' chore charts hanging up here on command hooks. If you want to see that video, I will try to remember to link it down below. If I forget, somebody please comment and remind me. That's where I'm at right now on this back to school week. Over here, this didn't fit in our basket, but I love this nature poem for every day of the year. And we do it as part of our calendar time. So our calendar is right here. They don't sell this anymore. This is from a long, long time ago. We've got our like moon chart here, if that's interesting to the kids that day. This is a cool like plexiglass little thing. And so what I have this for is I'm gonna just put we have like a week 1 and week 2 schedule. If you saw my homeschool schedule video, where 1 week we have co-op and 1 week we have history. And those are at different times of the day. And like the week we have co-op is the same week that on another day that week, the girls have their solo private. And then the week when we have history, say, that might be the week where they don't have their solo private on a different day. So we'll have like a week 1 and week 2 schedule. So I'm just gonna flip this around so the kids know what the week is looking like each week so they can remember where we're at as far as planning out their own independent work. We have chalk markers and chalk and erasers here. This is the poem by Rudyard Kipling that I love. This is just, I've got a bunch of like our nature picture books in there right now, but this is where I'll put like seasonal books for Josephine or like the holidays or just something to keep her going. This is not normally in here, actually. This is Annie's school basket. These are the woven baskets that they each have in their own room of their own school supplies or of their own curriculum. I had pulled hers out to start sorting through it and I forgot to put it away before I started this video. And I think that's pretty much it. We have our computer desk over there that used to be our pantry, but we built a new pantry onto our house. And so that was like a small pantry. So John just put up some, I think, shiplap and made a desk in there for everyone. So they've got the desktop nearby to the schoolroom. And yeah, that is everything. That is our homeschool room for this year. I don't think that I missed anything. I think I did a pretty thorough peek through. So yeah, that is what our homeschool room looks like for this school year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And don't forget to enter that giveaway. Thank you YWAM for partnering with me on that giveaway. I'm excited to see who wins and what you guys choose. All right guys, that's a wrap on Back to Homeschool Week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week. I wanna know what you did while you were listening to these videos. Were you guys doing some lesson planning? Were you clearing out your own homeschooling shelves? What did you do or what motivation did you find from this Back to Homeschool Week? Thank you guys for enjoying this week along with me. Don't forget to enter the giveaway in the description box down below, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye guys.